Welcome. In this video, we will provide an overview of Webb's depth of knowledge, a helpful tool for analyzing cognitive demand. How do we engage students in meaningful and rigorous work where all students learn at a high level? Webb's depth of knowledge can help teachers meet this challenge. Webb's depth of knowledge is a tool educators can use to analyze the cognitive demand intended by a standard curricular activity or assessment task. It has become synonymous with what it means to develop rigorous learning experiences that challenge, engage, and encourage students to demonstrate their learning at a deeper level. Webb's depth of knowledge describes four levels or four different ways a learner can interact with content. Unlike Bloom's, it's not a taxonomy. The levels are a rating scale to rate the cognitive demand required of a standard or activity. Level 1 requires students to recall facts, terms, or principles. Level 2 requires basic reasoning. At level 2, students must not only demonstrate that they can answer a question or complete a task correctly, they must also explain how or why they use the knowledge they obtained to answer the question. In level 3, students must delve deeply or inquire and investigate how they can think strategically. At this level, not only do students need to recall, but also justify responses, results, or reasoning. It is deeper critical thinking. At level 4, students must think extensively about how they could connect, transfer, or utilize their knowledge. DOK levels do not build upon each other. You do not have to start at a 1 before getting to a 4. DOK describes four different or deeper ways a learner can interact with content. DOK is not about the verb. It's about the mental processing and what's cognitively required of students. To help us better understand, let's take a look at these four sample learning outcomes. All four require that students create. We need to look after this verb to decide how deeply students must demonstrate their learning. In other words, how deeply does the learning intention require students to create? The first learning outcome requires students to create a sequence of just the facts. No deeper connection is needed to be made. This is DOK 1. They are creating, which is the highest level of thinking in Bloom's taxonomy, but the depth of thinking demanded in this activity is at a reduced level. It requires just to recall the facts and do the task. Therefore, it is a level 1 task. Notice the word use that follows the verb create in outcomes 2, 3, and 4. Now we can see that students are asked to do something with what they know. In the second learning outcome, students use knowledge they have acquired in some basic way. This is level 2. The third learning outcome requires students to use, prove, and justify. Students have to create and use facts to analyze connections. This is a level 3 task. Finally, level 4 requires a learner to think extensively. In learning outcome 4, students create, use the information, and the extent at which they must prove it is at a deeper level. The extent at which a student must use knowledge is what makes it a level 4 task. In summary, Webb's depth of knowledge is all about what comes after the verb and the complexity. Level 1, just recall the facts to just do it. Level 2, use it. Level 3, use it and prove it. Level 4, explore, use, and prove. The extent of the thinking is broader, deeper, and has greater context at a level 4. The goal of rigorous lesson planning is to provide opportunities for students to engage in depth of knowledge level 3 or 4. When students engage in strategic and extended thinking, they apply knowledge learned in one situation to a new situation. And this is deeper learning.